Who made you feel like you had to walk around with your head down low? And why do you still continue to allow it? Let's talk about it. Hi guys, my name is Katie May and I am your guide to building a brand based in authenticity. I wanted to talk a little bit today about everybody that seems to walk around with their heads down. I feel like I'll make eye contact with people and they will glance up at me, make a quick friendly smile, and then look back at their shoes again. And don't get me wrong, I've done this for a good majority of my life as well. So it's not a them problem, right? But I've been thinking about it a lot more as I'm consciously walking around, holding my head up high, and actually holding eye contact with people. Because I would make eye contact with people, but I wouldn't hold eye contact with people. So I feel like there's a lot of different reasons that everybody walks around with their head down, right? Lack of confidence, feeling insecure, feeling shame, feeling guilt, frustration. And at the end of the day, it just kind of boils down to they don't want to connect to other people, at least from what I've seen and in my personal experiences, right? If you don't want to connect with other people, you're not going to make an effort to hold eye contact with people, to actually treat them like other human individuals. And it doesn't mean that you don't value those people as much, but you value your emotions over that, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like when I was in the highest period of not wanting to interact and engage with other people or even like make eye contact with other people, I prioritized my feelings over those people, to be completely honest. Like, I wanted to feel crappy more than I wanted to connect with other people because I assumed that it would make me feel worse. And because of that fear of thinking that I would feel worse, I allowed myself to be held back by that idea. And so I just would not engage with other people, right? And well, I can only speak on my personal experience and some of my other friends and the information they've shared with me. I feel like it's a lot more general than we think. It's a lot more common than we think, right? So we don't have to figure out the core root of our issue to be able to fix it, right? So I feel like talk therapy kind of teaches us that, oh, we need to figure out that it's a mother wound to be able to really fix this problem, or we gotta keep talking through all of these traumatic events to be able to figure out ways to work through them. And I personally have never found that useful or helpful in my life. And I think it is helpful for some people, but personally, it never gave me enough direction to actually learn how to overcome my anxieties and my depression and a lot of these fears that I was kind of allowing to get in the way of the life I wanted to live, right? And it wasn't until I started to really dive into mindfulness and what a mindset is and really figuring out what kind of mindset I wanted to lead my life that I actually started to see significant changes in my emotional well-being and also how I presented myself to other people. Even now, I'll have people say that walking around, I look very confident, I have good posture, and it's because I've gotten to a place of connecting to my body now where walking around with bad posture feels bad. I can feel it in my lower back, I can feel it in my shoulders, and I don't know if it's a result of my connection to myself or a result of working through some of my anxieties and fears that holding on to that pain was more comfortable than learning to work past it, if that makes sense. So I'm not sure which one it is because they seem to kind of take place at the same time together. But the more that I work on my physical well-being, the more my emotional well-being will tell me how to take care of it. And the more that I take care of my emotional well-being, the more my physical body is okay, this is how to take care of me. And so it's kind of this really cool repeating cycle. And I really love it, to be honest. I think it's really fun, really cool just to see these cycles play out. And I never really understood or like saw these cycles for what they were until like a few years of like repeating these cycles. And then I was like, oh, like I'm actually seeing change in my life. That's cool. So I have a zit on my nose, by the way. If you see me keep messing with it. Oh, that was a possum. Anyways. But, so I don't think that you have to actually figure out who allowed you to keep your head down, who taught you that not making eye contact, not showing up, not actually having a place in this world is better than making eye contact with people, right? And I feel like for a while, especially at gas stations, I would refuse to make eye contact with men because I was afraid that they would take that as an opportunity to advance on me, right? I hate going places where men are like, ah, shawty, let me holler at you, right? Like, no, dude, like, stop. Like, but the more that I've grown into this more confident version of myself, the more I'm like, let them. Like, so what? You know? And like the more that I make eye contact with the men, the more I realize that most of them are just as insecure as the rest of us. It's gotten to a point now where I kind of make a game out of it, and I just want to see like if I can withstand the uncomfortableness of making eye contact longer, or if they can withstand making uncomfortable eye contact longer, right? And the hardest part, I don't smile. Like, maybe if I feel good vibes from them, I'll give them like a little smile. But like for the most part, I do my best just not to smile, just to like let it be as natural as I can, right? And it's really, really funny just to watch them, like, I don't know. Like, so many men will just glance up, I'll continue to make eye contact, and they glance back down. And I'm like, ooh, okay. Women, I love women. Like, I will make eye contact with them all day long. I will hype them up. I will say everything I can to make them feel beautiful and special. I'm sorry, man. I just have bad interactions with most of y'all. So, you don't have to figure out exactly why you keep your head down, right? You just have to be conscientious of like that is like a habit that you have, and then you have to figure out like why do you want to start looking around more, right? For me, it came down to two things. I wanted to be more confident in my life, and Tony Robbins always makes a great point when he says that your mental change happens with your physiology, right? So if you're acting depressed, you're gonna feel depressed, right? It's a repeating cycle. But if you feel depressed and you act energized, it might take a little bit, but soon enough, the habits of energy will build up inside of you. And you'll be able to like feel more energized and less depressed. And I can attest to that in my own personal life. It's pretty cool. Definitely take care of your body and use your body to feel what you want to feel. And then on another side of that, like, feel more confident in myself was a major reason, but another reason is honestly because I wanted to be a better artist. And to be a better artist, I have to actually look at the world around me, right? I can't just keep my head down and hope that I'll pull my head up at the right time to capture something beautiful. Like, I have to keep my eyes peeled at all times to not only see the sceneries and the people and the buildings around me and like see the beauty in it, but also to like feel all of the emotions that come with being in that area and finding ways to express that emotion through my paintings, my photography, my drawings. I think that's about most of everything that I do right now, at least like artist wise. So you can't rely on like your intuition to be able to capture something beautiful. Like, you really do have to keep your eyes peeled all the time. So I wanted to be a better artist and I wanted to be more confident was my reasonings for learning to hold my head up, making eye contact, keeping good posture, and connecting with myself more. And I think it's really beautiful because taking on the identity of an artist has allowed me to figure out new ways to connect with myself and express myself creatively. So for example, like one of the ways that I really enjoy connecting with myself is going on walks. I feel like it's a beautiful way to connect to myself and to nature around me, and there's so much goodness that comes out of those walks that are just really incredible, to be honest. And but then sometimes those walks feel more draining than they are like energy giving, so then I have to be creative again. I have to figure out what else I want. So other times it's like pulling out a blanket and laying in the grass at a park or something and just painting for a while, even if it looks really crappy in my perspective. Like, the whole point was to create something. It wasn't to create a masterpiece, right? It was just to express myself on a page. Other times it's sitting on I love being outside. Sometimes it's sitting on a park bench and just journaling, and other times it's literally just laying in the grass and like absorbing the sun, right? But until I was able to take on the identity of an artist, I wasn't confident in my ability to creatively find new ways to express myself, right? I feel like I relied very heavily on what people would tell me through Pinterest, through TikTok, through Instagram, and I would just take their words for it. And even if they said to go on a walk, because I was doing it more with the intention of going on a walk because Pinterest told me to, and less of going on a walk because I want to, I wasn't able to find that like rejuvenation of my energy that I was truly looking for until I was able to sit down, connect with myself, be mindful, and be like, hey girl, like, we're kind of acting crazy right now. We need to actually start drinking our water again. I would really like to go to the gym, is what my body was saying a lot of the times. I love going to the gym. I just hate getting there. Yeah, I don't know. So I feel like the idea of taking on a new identity really allowed me to express myself better and connect with myself better. And because of all of the different creative ways that I was able to figure out new solutions through my problems, that's why I really want to hone in on other people truly expressing themselves through being an artist, right? Being an artist can mean a million different things. Like, I don't care what your passion is. If you have a passion for something, you're an artist. Like, bottom line. Because if you have a passion for something, you're gonna figure out a way to do it no matter what, right? I've seen welders not have the equipment to weld, but like maybe not the metals or like other materials. They'll go to junkyards and just like take stuff, or they'll like hit up a buddy and be like, hey, I know you got like a bunch of scrap metal, can I come by and like snag some? Just because they want to play around with their passion. So I feel like the more that you allow yourself to take on the identity of just an artist, you allow yourself to then also take on the identity of any artistic form that you want to take on, right? I'm thinking about most of the entrepreneurs that I'm following right now. Like, they're like, oh yeah, like, I'm a brand mentor, but I'm also a photographer, I'm also a graphic designer, I'm also a writer, I'm also like all of these different art forms, and then like random side hustles and hobbies that they just do for fun, not even to make money. They're just like, yeah, it's like a little bit of extra income, but like it's just fun, like whatever, you know? So I don't know, I really love it. I think it's super cool, and I really encourage you guys to start looking at the way that you allow your body to show up in this world. Like, who do you allow yourself to talk to, and who do you not allow yourself to talk to or connect with, I think would be a better term, because like making eye contact with somebody is like connecting with that person, right? So who do you allow yourself to connect with, and who don't you allow yourself to connect with, and who do you want to be? You know, do you want to be somebody that connects with people like that, or do you want to continue to live the life that you're already living? And there's no right or wrong answer. Like, maybe you've done a lot of work already and you're to a point where you're like, I'm really secure in me being an introvert, and I really love this part of myself. And if that's like where you're at right now and you're super comfortable with that, I say stay, honestly. Like, if there's nothing that you truly want to change in your life, don't change it, you know? But for me, I really wanted to connect with more people, and it was frustrating to me that I couldn't connect with more people. So I had to allow myself to figure out what qualities and emotions I wanted to feel through connecting with other people, so that I knew why I was doing it and who I was trying to become through doing it. And through making that identity switch based on the emotions that I wanted to feel, it has completely transformed my life. And if you're already feeling the feelings you want to feel, and if you are already who you want to be, then I don't think that there's a need for you to change. That's why I say that there's no real right or wrong answer, because my values and my goals are going to be different than your values and your goals, and that's what makes all of us so special and unique and beautiful. But if you are in a position that I was in, where you're like, I need this to change like yesterday, then I really encourage you to start creating a pattern of mindfulness, figuring out what artist you want to become even more, because you are an artist already, and truly diving into these new passions. Remember that everybody starts out as a beginner. Some people just start out when they're 6, but other people start out when they're in their 40s or 60s. And no matter what, you can still create, right? Like, you don't have to wait for somebody to give you permission to start creating anything. Like, I just bought a new camera. I'm not a photographer, like a professional photographer by any stretch of the means, but I love taking photos with my phone, so I figured, why not, you know? Like, it's something I love doing. I'm okay with being a beginner at it. I'm okay with, like, messing up and failing and trying new things. And I feel like that perspective has only come through intentionally putting myself in positions where I have to be a beginner, but putting myself in those positions very routinely. I've worked, I think, for 20-ish different companies in the past 5 years that I started working. So I've been a beginner at a lot of different things. They've all been, it feels so gross. It feels so gross. Don't get me wrong. Like, being a beginner sometimes is overwhelming and stressful and humiliating, right? But the more that you're able to work through those emotions, the better you become at being a beginner at new things. So be a beginner. Figure out what identity you want to have based on the emotions that you want to create in your life. And let me know down in the comments below what you are going to do today to start to become more of an artist. So definitely keep your head up, make eye contact, shoulders back, head up, and I will see you guys next time. If you guys are looking for a little bit more help on how to build a brand, click the link in my bio. I offer free one-on-one Zoom calls, an hour long. There's no sales pitches ever. I just want to see where you're at and what steps we can begin to take in the future so that you can live your dream life. So if that's something that interests you, click the link in my bio, schedule your Zoom call today, and I will see you guys on the flip side. Peace.